Okay, I'd like to call to order the regular council meeting of January 10th, 2022. Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell. Here. Mr. Sensi.
Here.
Figures. Mr. Consolmagno.
Here.
Mr. Espinar.
Here.
Ms. Flynn.
Here.
Mr. Janisic.
Here.
Mr. Mallory.
Here.
Mr. Oakes.
Here.
Mr. O'Brien.
Present.
All members accounted for. At this time, can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, I would like just to make some announcements. Number one is we had a reorganization of council last Monday. Myself, Tim Mowry is elected president, Mark O'Brien vice president. We have members that were re-elected and 4 new members. So tonight I would just like to make those introductions. I'll start, re-elected was Mayor Jack Allen. Welcome back. And we'll do in council wards, Joe Consolmagno from Ward 1.
Thank you, Mr. Mowry.
Thank you, Mr. Consolmagno. We have John Oakes from Ward 3.
Thank you. I'd like to just take a second, and I'd like to thank all the citizens in Ward 3 and throughout the municipality for entrusting me with this responsibility. I appreciate it. I will work hard for you every day. I'd also like to thank council for the help, the amount of information, and the stuff that they have to deal with every day. These are great teachers for us. And I'd also, my partners, the other 3 newly elected council people, I would like to thank them, their time, everything they put forth to do this every day, all day. I'd just like to say thank you to all you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Oakes. And representing Ward 5, Mr. Janisic.
Thank you, President Mowry. I'd like to echo what Mr. Oakes said. Thank you to all the folks in Ward 5 who voted for me and supported me throughout this. Thank you to my family. I couldn't have done it without them. I'd also like to thank the outgoing members. I know there was a lot of experience that we lost, but hopefully we can get some fresh ideas here for you guys. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Mr. Harrison's 48 years of service to the community. Mr. Harrison, thank you very much. Also, I'd like to thank the new members that joined with me. Your willingness to raise your hand and stand up for our community is greatly appreciated. And that's all I have, Mr. Mowry. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Janisic. And from Ward 7, Mr. Espinar.
Thank you, Mr. Mowry. I'd like to first start off by thanking the residents of Ward 7. I'm honored to have this opportunity to represent Ward 7 and all the citizens of Bethel Park. I also look forward to continuing the long-lasting tradition of excellence here in Bethel Park. I value the initiatives and vision that previous council members placed into action and taking it to the next level. I look forward to working with members of council to continue to make Bethel Park a special place to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Espinar. And Ms. Flynn.
Hi. Going last. Everybody said everything.
We said the best for
I
last.
know. No, I'm honored to serve Bethel Park, especially alongside all these folks right here. And I'm committed to being open-minded and to most importantly listen and ask questions. And I welcome any thoughts and suggestions that any of the residents would have. And it's a privilege that I don't take lightly, and I thank all of Bethel Park, and I'm excited to serve.
Thank you, Ms. Flynn. I would be remiss not to mention that they actually got sworn in on the 3rd, but they began their journey in early December. They met with Mr. Christian and our staff to kind of get a heads up and overview. And they also are all attending the local government academy for the newly elected officials course, which many years ago when I went wasn't as detailed, I'm sure, but it's a 3-4 month commitment. There's many meetings, and I think all look forward to working with all the new members, and hopefully we provide you the guidance to make good decisions. And just remember one thing, all the good stuff is us. Anything bad is the manager. I don't think they'll teach you that, but that's your lesson for tonight. Okay, at this time, I would also like to mention for the chairs, for General Policy and Finance, Dr. Campbell will be the chair. Health, Safety, and Welfare, Mr. Cincy will be the chair. For Public Works and Maintenance, Mr. Consolmagno. And Mr. Janisak will be the chair of Planning and Zoning, and that will be our most active committee, I think, in future months. So thank you all for your willingness to serve, and here's to, the next 2 years. Okay, under chair announcements, executive session of council was held on Monday, January 10th, before we came out, 2022, for personnel matters and contract negotiations. At this time, I would like to turn to the reports of the officials and the library director's report.
Good evening. My name is Christine. I'm the director of your public library, where we offer opportunities to explore, learn, create, and connect. I have one big announcement. As of January 1st of this year, the library is now fine-free. It's part of our strategic plan and the strategic initiative to reduce barriers to service. So now, if your items are overdue, you will not be charged a late fee. However, that doesn't eliminate replacement costs. If you do lose an item, you will be responsible for replacement costs for that. Also, Winter Reading Club for children birth through high school started this week and will continue through the month of January. So we hope you come in and pick up some materials and start reading. All of our story times are back in session, as are adult programs and clubs. So you can visit our website at bethelparklibrary.org for more information, or stop in and see us.
Thank you very much. Is there any discussion from council? Hearing none, thank you, Christine. Can we turn to the police chief's report and Chief O'Connor?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Hi, everybody. Chief here. Want to wish everybody a happy and safe new year. But winter is upon us. Winter is upon us. So just a couple of things. Please drive carefully when there's snow and icy conditions out. The one thing you can really do is make sure you have good tires on your car. You want to weight down the back of your vehicle. Please maintain a safe distance between you and the vehicle in front of you, and go slow. You tailor your speed to the conditions, not to the posted speed limit, and we'll all get through this. Right into the spring, right into St. Patrick's Day, right, Mr. Vice President? That has a nice ring to it. And I'm going to watch the game tonight. Roll Tide. Any questions?
Any questions from council?
Excellent.
Hearing none, can we turn to the fire chief's report? And I believe we have Chief Gerber on the line.
Hi there. Happy New Year to everybody. Glad to see everybody. Congratulations to all the new council members and to all the returning council members. For the month of December in 2021, we had 4 structure fires, 1 vehicle fire, 1 gas leak, 2 electrical conditions, 3 power lines down, 1, we assisted a resident who was locked out of their house, 1 water condition, 10 good intent calls, 2 smoke investigations, 10 fire alarms, and 3 CO alarms, totaling 38 calls for the month of December. In 2021, the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company ran 538 calls. That's up 65 over last year. Last year we were down, amazingly enough, with COVID and all. We were down a good 100 calls. So calls volumes going back up, and we are keeping busy and all. Just one quick thing I'd like to ask everybody. Unfortunately, as Chief O'Connor said, it's winter time. Starting to snow and stuff again, unfortunately. If you have any kind of snow accumulation and you have a fire hydrant on your property, if across from your property that, there's not a house or anything, we ask that you clean out the fire hydrant, a 3-foot radius around the hydrant, so that if we would have to use it, we can get to the hydrant. The guys and ladies from the fire department, we can connect the hydrant. But we ask that you please try and maintain some snow clearing and stuff around the hydrant, just so in case we need it, we can get to it. The last thing you want to do with an emergency is have us have to start shoveling before we get water. So very important item, and we'd appreciate anybody who can help us with that to take care of that. Other than that, that's all I have, other than have a happy new year to everybody, and thank you.
Thank you, Chief Gerber. At this time, I would like to turn to the mayor's report and Mayor Allen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I did want to mention Chief O'Connor's comment about drive slow because of the roads being slick. And he said, don't worry about what the posted speed limit is. Please drive slow to the posted speed limit, and we'll all be happy.
Good point.
The only thing I have tonight are the awards for the 2021 Holiday Lighting Contest. And I have them by ward, a couple honorable mentions. There are a few people here. But let me read the award. This is the award for excellence, presented this 10th day of January 2022 by the municipality of Bethel Park to certain residences in acknowledgement of the outstanding 2021 holiday season display of decorations at your residence. You are hereby presented the Mayor's Award of Excellence. This recognition here is given to your home. It signifies that your holiday decorations were judged to be the best in your ward. Bethel Park appreciates your effort to enhance our community's image at this special time of year. So congratulations and best wishes for a bright 2022. So in Ward 1, and I don't know if they're here, we have a few that said they were coming. It's Robert and Laura Butt at 5501 California Avenue. Okay. Ward 2, 6089 Great Dane Drive, and that's Joseph and Shirley Reggett, and I don't believe they're here, with an honorable mention of Thomas and Irene Szymanski at 6159 Boxer Drive. Ward 3, 963 Willow Glen Drive, that's David and Pamela Brewalski. Ward 4, and it says that they're here, so that's at 7028 Dumbarton Place, Ralph and Raylene Mascusi. You want to come up? Okay, the spokesperson is. Just tell us a little bit about your display.
Well, you did the decoration.
I got the whole outside of the house done, with lights across the roof and that. I got quite a few blow-ups, some little animation stuff, the whole yard circled in, lights and everything there. I didn't have a picture. I was gonna. Oh, do you have a picture? Okay.
No. Outlined in candy canes and.
Yeah, it's very nice. A lot of lights and
Yeah.
a lot of decorations.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you for your participation, and we look forward to seeing you next year.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ward 5 isn't here. It's Frey Vogel Residence, and they're at 2350 Caswell Drive. Brings us to Ward 6, Raymond and Joan Bruschke, and that is 5724 Wilson Drive. And you've been here before?
I was honored 2 years.
Okay. Just tell us a little bit about your display.
Well, I put up the lights, my wife choreographed.
Okay. Well, when this program is rebroadcast, they do put the pictures up. So we'll give you your award. A lot of lights, looks very nice, and thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Ward 7 is 3232 Comanche Road. That's Stephen and Pam Hart, and I don't believe they're here. Ward 8, 4960 Lindemer Avenue, Thomas and Jody Burke. Okay. Ward 9, honorable mention, Robert and Jennifer Bukowski, and they're at 164 Rocky Ridge Road. And the winner in Ward 9 is Bob and Amy Jo Atkins at 690 Clifton Road, and they're not here also. I'll give the awards to their council person, and they'll deliver them to you, I hope. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mayor. At this time, can we turn to the approval of the minutes? And Mr. O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Approval of the minutes, December 13th, 2021, regular council meeting minutes. I move that we approve the minutes from December 13th, 2021, regular council meeting.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. O'Brien and second by Dr. Campbell that we approve the minutes from the December 13th, 2021 regular council meeting. Any discussion of this item?
Mr. President?
Yes.
I would like to mention that I will be recusing myself for the approval of minutes and the bills and payrolls because I was not in council at that time and would like to recuse myself from those two items.
Thank you, Mr. Oakes. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno,
Yes.
Mr. Espinard,
Yes.
Ms. Flynn,
Yes.
Mr. Janisick,
Yes.
Mr. Mallory,
Yes.
Mr. Oakes, abstain.
Motion passes 8-0 with one abstention. At this time, I'd like to turn to approval of the bills and payrolls and Mr. O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Maury. Bills and payrolls, bill list 011022. I move that we approve bill list 011022 in the amount of $1,841,138.27.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. O'Brien, seconded by Dr. Campbell, that we approve bill list 011022 in the amount of $1,841,138.27. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno,
Yes.
Mr. Espinard,
Yes.
Ms. Flynn,
Yes.
Mr. Janisick,
Yes.
Mr. Mallory,
Yes.
and Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0 with one abstention. At this time, I would like to turn to the resident comments section. Mr. Harrison is signed up to speak.
I served 48 years to the dais as a Fifth Ward councilman. During that time, I commented many times about the slippery slope our precious nation, created by our forebears, slid slowly towards socialism. President Maury took the microphone each time to state that that's Harrison's opinion and not supported by council or the staff. He never polled council to determine if that's a fact. He just stated the case and ruled like a dictator. A few years ago, I read into the record, several years ago, I read in the record a quote by then Soviet Premier Khrushchev. He said, "We will take America without firing a shot. We will bury you. We can't expect American people to jump from capitalism to communism, nor can we assist their elected leaders in giving their small doses of socialism until they awaken one day to find that they have communism. We do not have to invade the United States. We will destroy within." This quote was by then Premier Nikita Khrushchev several days ago. As of January 2021, the United States has become a socialist nation. America needs to acknowledge that fact and immediately expend effort to reverse it. Year 2020, the reason I'm citing this is year 22 is an election year where all the seats in the House of Representatives and a third of the seats in the Senate are up for election. As I stated, this is an opportunity, just a second. Yes, this is an opportunity for the citizens to correct the situation that our nation is in at this time. So my purpose for making this presentation is to encourage people to determine who are the candidates that are running for election that will support our constitutional system as formed by our framers, and hopefully that will resolve the situation we're in, because I don't talk to many people that are very happy with the situations we're in now. And hopefully we can rectify that by electing people who will support the constitutional form of the government that was put together by our framers. So I would appreciate that people would take note of the fact that this is an election year, expend some effort learning who are the candidates that will push our nation back to a constitutional organization and not socialism, and see if we can reverse this trend. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Are there any other residents that would like to speak? Hearing none, can we turn to General Policy and Finance and Dr. Campbell?
President Maury, we have one item under General Policy and Finance. At the opioid settlement participation, I move that we authorize the municipal manager to sign the agreement forms to participate in the J&J settlement and the distributors settlement.
Second.
There's a motion by Dr. Campbell, second by Mr. O'Brien, authorizing the municipal manager to sign the agreement forms to participate in the J&J settlement and the distributor settlement. Any discussion of this item?
President Maury,
Dr. Campbell.
2 settlements were reached for the opioid crisis between the PA State General Office, General Authority Attorney's Office, and Johnson & Johnson this past year, as well as with 3 pharmaceutical distributors as well. Pennsylvania was one of 46 states to join with 4 territories in the District of Columbia in negotiating these settlements. This motion is necessary for us to, as Bethel Park, to opt in on the claims made by the state. To put this in perspective, the settlement is currently around $26 billion. Pennsylvania stands to gain possibly $1 billion from payments. And just to kind of drive the lesson kind of home, let us know how personal this is. In Pennsylvania, we had 16,800 people die in Pennsylvania between 2017 and 2020. Population of Bethel Park is about twice that. So we've lost the equivalent in Pennsylvania in those few years, as many as half of our population in Bethel Park alone. In 2021, we lost 5,172 Pennsylvania residents. So the opioid crisis is palpable, it's real. In one way or another, it affects all of us. You may not think that it affects you in a lot of different ways, but by insurance premiums, by rates of crime, insurance policies, everything across the board, it will, healthcare, it affects us to some degree. So it is my desire and wish that we certainly proceed with this motion.
Thank you very much, Dr. Campbell. Is there any other discussion from council? Hearing none, Mr. Christian, can you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Sensi.
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno.
Yes.
Mr. Espinar.
Yes.
Ms. Flynn.
Yes.
Mr. Janisick.
Yes.
Mr. Maury.
Yes.
Mr. Oakes.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. Dr. Campbell.
President Maury, I have no other items under General Policy and Finance.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to Health, Safety, and Welfare and Mr. O'Brien?
Mr. Chairman, there are no items under Health, Safety, and Welfare for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Are there any additional items?
President Maury,
Mr. Consommagno.
I would just like to announce that yesterday was National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. And in the past, I've asked residents of Bethel Park to put a blue light in their window to show our support for not only Bethel Park, but all law enforcement in the country. So if you could do that, if you haven't taken your Christmas decorations down yet, if you could shine that blue light for our, show our appreciation to the police, I'd appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Consommagno. Okay, are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to planning and zoning and Mr. Janasek?
President Maury, no items for planning and zoning at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Janasek. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to public works and maintenance and Mr. Consommagno?
President Maury, we have no items under Public Works and Maintenance at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Consommagno. Is there any additional items? Hearing none, I think that covers the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved by Dr. Campbell, second by Mr. O'Brien. Meeting adjourned, and good night, everyone.